Come as you are, just for these next few minutes. Let everything else grow quiet. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing slow. Wherever you are right now, whatever chair or car or bed or kitchen table you are sitting at, you are welcome here. You do not need to have the right words. You do not need to understand everything you are feeling. You only need to come. Father, I come to you now, and I bring this person with me. You already know why they are here. You already know the weight they are carrying before they even name it. Some of them have been waiting so long that they have almost forgotten what it feels like not to wait. Some of them are waiting for an answer to a prayer they whispered years ago and have almost stopped expecting. Some of them are waiting for healing, for a door to open, for a phone to ring, for a diagnosis to change, for a marriage to be restored, for a child to come home, for a season of scarcity to finally break. Lord, you have always known, and you are not far from a single one of them tonight. There is something sacred about this moment, because waiting is one of the hardest forms of faith there is. It is easy to trust you when the answer has already come, when the blessing is already in hand, when the prayer has already been answered, and we can look back and say, "See, God was faithful." But it takes something deeper, something braver, to trust you in the middle of the waiting room, before the answer has arrived, when the outcome is still hidden and the silence feels louder than any sermon we have ever heard. And that is exactly where so many of us are tonight. So Lord, meet us here, not in the testimony we will give later, but in the uncertainty we are living right now. For the person listening who has been asking you the same question for months, maybe years, will this ever change? Will this ever get better? Did you hear me the first time I asked that? You would wrap your peace around them like a blanket on a cold night. They are tired. Not tired in a way that a good night's sleep can fix, but tired in their spirit, tired from hoping and then hurting, tired from believing and then wondering if they believed wrong. Lord, be gentle with them tonight. They do not need to be stronger right now. They need to be held. For the one who is waiting for their body to heal, who has prayed over the same test results, the same pain, the same diagnosis, and has not yet seen the change they long for, Father, you see every hidden ache. You see the nights they lie awake wondering if their body will ever feel like their own again. You are the God who knit them together in their mother's womb, who knows every cell, every fiber, every quiet suffering they carry. I ask you to meet them in their body tonight, whether or not the healing comes the way or the timing they expect. Let them know that you have not abandoned them to their pain. For the one who is waiting for a relationship to be restored, a marriage that feels distant, a friendship that fractured, a parent and child who have not spoken in far too long, Lord, you are the God who reconciles. You are the God who took what was utterly broken between heaven and earth and built a bridge back to yourself through your Son. If you can do that, you can move in the space between two hearts that used to be close. I don't ask you to force anyone's will, because you never do. But I ask you to soften what needs softening, to heal what needs healing, and to give this person patience for a process they cannot control. For the one who is waiting for provision, rent that is due, bills that are stacking up, a job that has not come, a business that has not yet turned the corner, Father, you have never once forgotten to feed the sparrows. You have never once left the lilies of the field without clothing more beautiful than any king could afford. And this person is worth so much more to you than a bird or a flower. I ask you to meet their practical needs, and even more than that, I ask you to meet their fear, because so often it is not just the lack that hurts, it is the fear of the lack that steals their peace night after night. For the one who is waiting for a child, for a family they have longed for a pregnancy that has not happened, or adoption that has not finalized, Lord, you know this ache in a way that words cannot hold. You see every quiet grief that comes with each passing month. I ask you to be close to them in a way that only you can be, and to remind them that their worth was never dependent on what they can produce or achieve, but on the simple, unshakable fact that they are yours. For the one who is waiting for direction, who does not know whether to stay or go, whether to say yes or no, who feels like they are standing at a crossroads in the fog with no idea which way leads forward, Father, you have promised to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. Not a floodlight that reveals the whole journey at once, but a lamp enough light for the step right in front of us. I ask you to give this person enough light for today and the trust to take tomorrow's step when tomorrow comes. And for the one who cannot even name exactly what they are waiting for, who just knows that something in their life feels unfinished, unresolved, suspended between what was and what is supposed to come, Lord, you know their heart even better than they know it themselves. Meet them in that uncertainty. Give shape to what feels shapeless. Give peace where there is only question marks. For the one who is lonely tonight, who is waiting for someone, anyone, to truly understand what they are walking through, Father, before there was a single other person in this person's life, there was you. You were present before their first friendship, before their first heartbreak, before they even had words to describe what loneliness felt like. I ask you so near them tonight that the loneliness begins to lose some of its sharpness, and I ask you, in your own timing, to bring people into their life who will sit with them in the waiting instead of rushing them through it. For the one who is grieving someone or something they have lost, and who is now waiting simply to feel like themselves again, Lord, grief is its own kind of waiting, one that does not follow a schedule or a formula. You are close to the brokenhearted. You do not rush anyone through sorrow. I ask that you would walk with this person at whatever pace their healing requires, and that you would meet them in the moments grief catches them off guard, in the ordinary Tuesday afternoons when the ache resurfaces without warning. For the one who feels spiritually dry right now, who used to sense your presence so clearly, and now feels like their prayers are hitting a ceiling, Father, even the most faithful men and women in Scripture had seasons like this. Even David cried out, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" Even he felt the silence, and yet you never actually left him. I ask that you would meet this person in their dryness, not with condemnation for feeling distant, but with the same patient nearness you have always shown your children in the wilderness seasons of their faith. For the one who was betrayed by someone they trusted, and who is now waiting to trust again, waiting for their heart to feel safe with other people once more, Lord, you know betrayal intimately. You were betrayed by one of your own closest friends with a kiss, in a garden, and still you did not let that betrayal turn your heart to stone. Teach this person, in your time and your way, how to open their heart again without being naive, how to trust again without being reckless, how to love again without losing themselves. For the one who feels like life has passed them by, who looks at the years behind them and wonders if their best chances have already come and gone, Father, you are not bound by the timelines we assume for ourselves. You called Abraham at 75 and Moses at 80. You are the God of second acts, third acts, and every act after that, for as long as breath remains in a person's body. Remind this listener that it is never too late for you to do something new. For the one who is quietly trying to break free from an old pattern, an old habit, a way of coping that no longer serves who they are becoming, Lord, you do not condemn the process of growth. You are patient with every small step forward, even the ones followed by 2 steps back. Give this person grace for themselves in this waiting, the same grace you have always extended to them, and the strength to keep choosing, one day at a time, the life you have for them. For the one who has been wronged and is waiting for something that feels like justice, waiting to be vindicated, waiting for the truth to finally come to light, Father, you are a God of justice as much as you are a God of mercy. Vengeance belongs to you, not because you delight in it, but because only You can weigh a situation with perfect knowledge and perfect love at the same time. I ask you to give this person the strength to release what they cannot control, trusting that nothing done to them in secret escapes your sight, and that in your time, in your way, the truth always finds the light. Because here is what I know to be true, even when it is hard to feel. Waiting is not the same as being forgotten. Silence is not the same as absence. A delay is not a denial. Your timing has never once been late, even when it did not look the way we expected, even when it did not come on the schedule we had drawn up in our own hearts. There were men and women throughout Scripture who waited on you for years, for decades, for what must have felt like lifetimes, and not one of their stories ended with you failing to show up. Not one. Think of Abraham, who was promised a son and a nation and waited 25 years to hold that promise in his arms, growing older, watching the natural windows of possibility close one by one, and still, in the fullness of time, you did exactly what you said you would do. Think of Joseph, sold by his own brothers, forgotten in a prison for years after doing what was right, and yet every single one of those years was quietly preparing him for a purpose he could not yet see. Think of Hannah, who wept and prayed and was misunderstood even by those around her, and you remembered her. Think of the Israelites, wandering for 40 years in a wilderness that was never meant to be their permanent home, waiting for a promised land that was real, that was coming, even when all they could see around them was sand and uncertainty. Think of Sarah, who laughed when she first heard the promise of a son because it seemed so far beyond possible, and who held that same son in her arms long after she thought her season for such things had closed. Think of Moses, tending sheep in obscurity for 40 quiet years in the wilderness before you ever called him to lead a nation out of slavery, 40 years that must have felt, at the time, like a life sentence of waiting rather than the exact preparation he needed. Think of David, anointed as king while he was still a boy watching sheep on a hillside, and then waiting years, hunted and hiding in caves, before that anointing ever became a throne. Think of Simeon and Anna, elderly, faithful, who spent their final years in the temple simply waiting to see the Messiah with their own eyes, and who were not disappointed, because you had promised, and you do not forget a promise. Think of the disciples themselves, gathered together after the resurrection, told to wait in Jerusalem, not knowing exactly what they were waiting for until the Holy Spirit came like fire and changed everything. Lord, if you were faithful to every one of them in their waiting, I have to believe you are faithful to us in ours. So tonight, I bring you my surrender, and I invite this listener to bring theirs too. Whatever they have been trying to control, whatever timeline they have been trying to force, whatever outcome they've been white-knuckling, because they are afraid that if they let go, it will never happen, Lord, help them open their hands. Not because letting go means giving up hope, but because letting go means trusting the one who holds the whole story, not just the chapter we are stuck on. I release my need to understand everything right now, Lord. I release my demand for a timeline. I release my fear that waiting means you have forgotten. I release the comparison trap, the quiet ache of watching everyone else's prayers get answered while mine still sits unopened. I release the shame I sometimes feel for still waiting, for not having it figured out yet, for still needing to ask you the same question again tonight that I asked you last week. You are not tired of me asking. You are not tired of this person asking. You have never once grown weary of your children coming back to you, again and again, with the same aching hope. Help me trust that you are not wasting this time. Help me believe that even the waiting has purpose, that you are doing something in me that could not be done any other way, that the very stillness I resent might be the space where you are building something in my character that the answer itself never could have built. Faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And Lord, I want to hold on to that kind of faith, even when everything around me insists that I should give up hoping. And even here, even in the not yet, I want to say thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this day, ordinary as it might feel. Thank you for the fact that you have not left me to figure any of this out alone. Thank you for every small mercy I have overlooked this week. A kind word from a stranger, a moment of unexpected laughter, a meal on the table, a roof over my head. Thank you for the doors that closed, because I trust that you closed them to protect me from something I could not see. Thank you for the doors that have not yet opened, because I trust that the timing of an open door is as much a gift as the door itself. Thank you for grace that meets me new every single morning, even the mornings I do not deserve it, even the mornings I wake up already anxious, already tired, already bracing for another day of waiting. Thank you for the people you have placed around me, even the ones who cannot fully understand what I am carrying. Thank you for your word, which has stood the test of every generation and every doubt and every question anyone has ever brought to it. Thank you for the cross, for the reminder that you already proved, once and for all, exactly how far you are willing to go for me. If you gave your own son for me, I have to believe you will not withhold the good things my life still needs. If the greatest gift has already been given, I can trust you with all the smaller ones. Lord, would you heal what this season of waiting has bruised in me? There is a kind of quiet wound that comes from hoping too many times without seeing the outcome, a soreness in the soul that builds up like a callus. Except instead of protecting us, it can start to close us off from hoping at all. Heal that in me, Father. Do not let me become someone who has stopped believing you move just because I have not seen you move on my timetable. Restore the parts of my heart that have grown guarded, cautious, afraid to hope out loud because hoping out loud has hurt before. Heal the disappointment that lingers from prayers that seem to go unanswered or that were answered differently than I asked. Heal the quiet resentment that can creep in when we watch other people's stories move faster than our own. Heal the shame of feeling like maybe I am doing something wrong, like maybe if I prayed harder or believed better or had more faith, the answer would have already come. Lord, that is not how your love works. Your love was never a transaction. You are not withholding good things from me because I have not earned them. You withhold nothing good from those who walk uprightly, and even in my weakest moments of faith, you have called me righteous through your Son, not through my performance. Restore my joy, Father, even in the waiting. Let me learn what it means to have joy that is not dependent on my circumstances lining up the way I want them to. Let me discover, maybe for the first time, that joy can exist right alongside unanswered prayer. That peace can live in the same room as uncertainty, that I do not have to wait for the outcome to feel whole again. Heal the part of me that flinches every time I see someone else receive what I am still waiting for. You know that ache, Lord, the one that shows up uninvited at someone else's good news, the one that makes me feel guilty for feeling anything other than pure happiness for them. Teach me that their breakthrough is not evidence against mine. Your storehouse is not running low. There is no shortage of goodness in your hands that means less is left for me, because someone else received theirs first. Heal the rejection this person may have carried from being overlooked, passed over, left out, or made to feel like they were somehow not enough. Whatever door closed in their face, whatever opportunity went to someone else, whatever relationship ended with them standing alone, Lord, you have never once overlooked them. You do not measure worth the way people do. You saw value in the stone the builders rejected and made it the cornerstone of everything. You can do the same with whatever this person believes disqualifies them. Heal the self-doubt that creeps in during long seasons of waiting, the quiet voice that whispers, maybe I am not enough, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I am the reason this has not happened yet. Silence that voice, Lord. It has never once been your voice. Your voice speaks life, not condemnation. Your voice calls your children beloved, not broken beyond use. Heal the weariness of hoping again and again without yet seeing it through. There is a particular exhaustion that comes from getting your hopes up only to watch them deflate over and over until some people stop letting themselves hope at all just to protect themselves from the disappointment. Father, do not let this person's heart grow calloused in that way. Give them fresh courage to hope again, softly if they need to, cautiously if they must, but truly, because a heart that has stopped hoping is a heart that has started to give up on you, and you are worth continuing to hope in. For the person listening who feels like their faith is running thin, who has started to wonder quietly, privately, whether any of this still makes sense, Lord, meet them exactly there. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. Sometimes it is simply the sound of faith wrestling honestly with a hard season. You were not afraid of Thomas's doubt. You did not turn away the disciples on the road to Emmaus when their hope had collapsed after the crucifixion. You walked beside them patiently until their eyes were opened. Walk beside this person the same way. Open their eyes gently, in your own time, in your own way. For the one who feels like they have been standing at the edge of a breakthrough for so long that they no longer trust their own hope, Father, give them the courage to hope again anyway. Not a naive hope that ignores reality, but a grounded hope that is anchored in who you are rather than in how things currently look. Let them remember that circumstances are not the final word. You are the final word. For the one who is exhausted from carrying a burden they were never meant to carry alone, Lord, remind them of your invitation. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not rest from every hardship, not immediately, not always in the way we expect, but rest for the soul, rest in the middle of the storm, the kind of rest that comes from finally setting a weight down at the feet of someone strong enough to hold it. For the one who is watching someone they love suffer and feels helpless to fix it, a parent worried about a child, a spouse worried about their partner, a friend who does not know how to help someone they love through their pain, Father, you carry what we cannot carry. You love the people we love even more fiercely than we do, and you have not forgotten them either. Give this person the peace of knowing that their love is not the only thing holding their loved one together. You are. For the one who has been the strong one for everyone else, who has held their family together, who has been the shoulder others cry on, but who has no one to hold them while they wait for their own breakthrough, Lord, see them, really see them. Let them feel, even for a moment, what it is like to not have to be strong, because you are strong enough for both of you. For the one who feels far from God right now, who has not felt your presence in a long time and is beginning to wonder if they ever will again, Father, you have promised that those who seek you will find, when they seek you with all their heart. I ask that you would draw close to this person even now, even through these words, even if they cannot yet feel it. Let this be the moment the distance starts to close, even if it closes slowly, even if it takes time to feel real again. For the one who is starting over, after a loss, after a failure, after a diagnosis, after a divorce, after a disappointment that reshaped everything they thought their life would look like, Lord, you are the God who makes all things new. Not by erasing the past, but by redeeming it, by weaving even the broken threads into something meaningful. Give this person the courage to begin again, one small step at a time, trusting that you go before them into whatever comes next. Lord, I want to speak some things over this listener now, not as guarantees of a specific outcome, because you have never promised us the details of tomorrow, but as declarations of who you are and who they are in you. I declare that this person is not forgotten, even in the waiting, even in the silence, even when the sky feels closed and the answers feel far away, they are not forgotten. You know their name. You know the number of hairs on their head. You know the exact date this season of waiting will end, even though they do not, and that knowledge alone should be enough to steady their heart tonight. I declare that this waiting is not wasted. Whatever you are doing in this unseen season, whatever you are building, refining, preparing, it is not for nothing. The very fact that they are still here, still praying, still listening to these words right now, is proof that something in them is being strengthened even in the delay. I declare that this person's story is not over. Whatever chapter feels stuck right now is not the final chapter. You are the author who never abandons a story halfway through, who has never once left a faithful prayer sitting forgotten on the desk of heaven. What you start, you finish. I declare that fear does not get to have the final word in this person's life. Worry can visit, but it does not get to move in and stay. Anxiety can knock, but it does not get to run the household of their heart. You have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind, and I ask that this person would walk in that today and tomorrow and every day of this waiting season. I declare that this person's future is not outside your hands. Every job, every relationship, every dream, every fear about what is coming, none of it is a surprise to you. You already see the end from the beginning. You are already present in every day this person has not yet lived. So even the uncertainty of tomorrow can be met with peace, because tomorrow already belongs to you. I declare that this person is loved, not because of what they produce, not because of how well they perform, not because of how strong their faith looks from the outside, but simply because they are yours. Nothing about this waiting season changes that. Not one day of delay makes them any less cherished, any less seen, any less held. Take a moment now, wherever you are, and if there is a specific burden on your heart, a specific person, a specific need, a specific fear, bring it before God right now. You do not need the perfect words. Just bring it. Whisper it if you need to. Or simply hold it silently in your heart and let Him see it there. He already knows. He is simply waiting for you to hand it to Him. Father, whatever this person just placed before you, I ask you to hold it gently. I ask you to carry what they cannot carry another day on their own. Thank you that we do not have to bring you a polished, put-together prayer. Thank you that we can bring you the mess, the confusion, the ache, and you receive all of it with the same steady love. Lord, I think of your word in Isaiah, where you said that those who wait on you will renew their strength, that they will rise up with wings like eagles, that they will run and not grow weary, that they will walk and not faint. I hold on to that promise tonight. Renew this person's strength. Not because their circumstances have changed yet, but because you are able to fill them with a strength that has nothing to do with circumstances at all. Let them find that even in the deepest exhaustion, you are still able to lift them, still able to carry them one more day, one more hour, one more breath at a time. I think of your word in Lamentations, where it says your mercies are new every morning, that your faithfulness is great. Great is your faithfulness, Lord, not just in the seasons of harvest, but in the seasons of planting, when nothing visible is happening yet beneath the surface. I trust that faithfulness tonight, even without seeing the fruit of it yet. I think of your word in Romans, that all things work together for good for those who love you, for those who are called according to your purpose. Not that all things are good, because some of what this person is carrying is genuinely hard, genuinely painful, and I will not pretend otherwise before you. But that you are able to work even the hardest things into something that carries meaning, something redemptive, something that only your hands could shape from broken pieces. I think of your word in Philippians, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. That peace, Lord, the kind that does not make logical sense given the circumstances, the kind that can only come from you, I ask for that peace over this person right now. Let it stand guard over their heart like a soldier at the gate, keeping out the fear that tries to creep back in the moment they close their eyes tonight. I think of your word in 2 Corinthians, where Paul said that you told him your grace is sufficient, that your power is made perfect in weakness. Lord, this person may feel weak tonight. They may feel like they have nothing left to offer, no strength left to keep believing. But that is exactly the kind of heart you meet with power, not because they have earned it, but because that is who you are. You do not wait for us to be strong before you show up. You show up in the weakness itself. I think of your word in Psalm 27, wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Twice in that one verse, wait, as if you knew how hard it would be, as if you knew we would need the reminder twice in a single breath. So Lord, give this person the strength to wait well, not passively, not hopelessly, but actively trusting, actively hoping, actively believing even without evidence yet in hand. I think of your word in Psalm 40, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. Lord, do that for this person. However long the waiting has felt, however deep the pit has seemed, lift them, set their feet on solid ground. Let them stand firm, not because the storm has passed, but because you are the rock beneath them regardless of the storm. I think of your word in Jeremiah 29, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That promise was spoken to a people in exile, a people waiting 70 years for restoration, a people who had every reason to believe you had forgotten them. And you had not. You had a plan the whole time, hidden in the waiting, unfolding exactly as you intended. I trust that you have a plan for this person too, hidden right now in what feels like delay, but unfolding exactly as it needs to. I think of your word in Psalm 23 that you are my shepherd, and because of that, there is nothing I truly lack. Even in this waiting season, even when it feels like I'm walking through a valley I did not choose and cannot see the end of, you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You lead me beside still waters when my own heart feels like a storm, and you restore my soul, not just my circumstances, but my soul, the deepest part of who I am. I think of your word in Psalm 46, that you are our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. And that because of this, we do not need to fear even if the earth gives way, even if the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Be still and know that I am God. Lord, help this person be still tonight. Not still in the sense of giving up, but still in the sense of finally exhaling, finally trusting that you are God and they do not have to carry the weight of being in control. I think of your word in Psalm 91, that whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I ask that this person would find that shelter tonight, a covering over their fear, a covering over their exhaustion, a covering over every anxious thought that has tried to convince them that they are facing this waiting season unprotected. They are not unprotected. They never have been. I think of your word in Psalm 121, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Lord, you have not fallen asleep on this person's situation. You have not looked away for even a moment. The one who watches over them neither slumbers nor sleeps, which means that even in the middle of the night, even when they feel most alone, you are fully awake and fully aware. I think of your word in Psalm 139, that you knit each of us together, that you knew us before we were formed, that even the darkness is not dark to you, that even there your hand will guide us, and your right hand will hold us fast. There is no place this person can go, no season they can enter, no valley they can walk through, that is too dark for you to find them in it. I think of your word in Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Lord, this person's understanding has limits. Mine does too. We cannot see around every corner. We cannot predict every outcome, and this waiting season has proven that to us more than once. So help us lean instead on you, who sees the whole path even when we can only see the step in front of us. I think of your word in Isaiah, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And again, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Lord, this person may feel like they are passing through deep water right now. I ask that you would be the hand that keeps them from being swept under, the presence that turns what could have drowned them into simply another place they walked through with you beside them. I think of your word in John, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you, I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. This is not a peace that depends on circumstances resolving first. It is a peace that you give freely in advance of the answer, because you are the answer underneath every other answer we are waiting for. I think of your word in Romans, that neither death nor life, nor angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from your love. Lord, this waiting season, however long it stretches, cannot separate this person from your love. It never could. It never will. I think of your word in Hebrews, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because you have said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Lord, whatever this person is waiting to have, whatever they feel they are lacking right now, let them find contentment, not because the lack does not matter, but because your presence matters more, and your presence has never once been withdrawn from them. I think of your word in James, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Lord, give this person wisdom for this season. Show them what to do with their hands and their days while they wait. Do not let the waiting become wasted time, but redeemed time, time spent growing closer to you even before the answer arrives. I think of your word in 1 Peter, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, not because he tolerates our anxiety, not because he is annoyed by our worry, because he genuinely cares, personally, deeply, about every single thing weighing on this person's heart tonight. And I think of your word in Revelation, that one day you will wipe every tear from our eyes, and there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things will have passed away. Lord, we are not there yet. This person is not there yet. But that promise means the waiting itself has an end, an ultimate end, even beyond whatever specific answer they are hoping for right now. One day, every tear. One day, no more waiting rooms. Lord, some of what this person is waiting for may not come the way they expect. I know that. You know that even better than I do. Sometimes the answer to our prayer looks different than the picture we had drawn in our minds. Sometimes you say yes to something better than what we asked for. Sometimes you say not yet, and the not yet turns out to be one of the greatest mercies of our lives, because we could not have handled what we were asking for before we were ready for it. And sometimes, honestly, the answer is no, and that no is one of the hardest things we ever have to accept. And even there, Lord, I ask that you would meet this person with a peace that does not require full understanding. Help this person trust your character even when they cannot trace your hand. Help them believe that your love for them does not rise and fall with how quickly their circumstances change. Help them separate, in their hearts, the question of whether you are good from the question of whether their current situation feels good, because those are two very different questions, and only one of them has a certain answer. Take a deep breath with me now, in slowly and out slowly. Feel your shoulders a little more. There is nothing you need to fix in this moment. There is nowhere else you need to be. This is simply a space to rest in the presence of the one who has never once stopped watching over you. Lord, I pray for this person's sleep tonight. So many people carry their waiting into their pillow, tossing over the same worries long after the lights go out. I ask that you would quiet their mind tonight. Let them lay down their burdens the way this prayer has invited them to, and let their body actually rest, not just their thoughts pretending to. Give them the kind of sleep that restores, the kind that lets them wake up tomorrow with a little more strength than they had today. I pray for their mind over the coming days. When anxious thoughts try to spiral, when the what-ifs start stacking up one on top of another, give them the ability to recognize those thoughts for what they are and to bring them, one at a time if they have to, back to you. Let your peace interrupt the spiral before it takes hold. Let your truth be louder than their fear. I pray for their body. Waiting is not only an emotional weight, it is a physical one too. It shows up in tension, in headaches, in exhaustion, in the way stress can settle into muscles and jaws and stomachs. Lord, would you minister to this person's body as well as their spirit? Give them physical relief where they need it, and the wisdom to care for themselves gently during this season, instead of pushing through on empty. I pray for their relationships. Waiting can make us withdraw from the people who love us, or it can make us short-tempered, or it can make us feel like a burden to those around us. Give this person the grace to receive support when it is offered, and the humility to ask for it when they need it, and have been too proud or too tired to ask. Surround them with people who will wait with them, who will not grow impatient with their process, who will remind them of your faithfulness on the days they cannot remember it themselves. I pray for their work, their finances, their daily responsibilities, that even in the waiting, you would give them enough grace to function, enough strength to show up for their obligations, enough clarity to make wise decisions even while their heart is heavy. Do not let this season of waiting cost them more than it already has. Protect what they have built even while they wait for what is still to come. Lord, I want to come back to gratitude one more time, because gratitude has a way of loosening the grip that anxiety holds on us, and I want this person to leave this prayer lighter than they arrived, not because their circumstances have changed in the last hour, but because their perspective has shifted even slightly toward you. Thank you for this very moment, for the fact that this person chose, in the middle of everything else pulling at their attention, to spend this time with you. That matters to you. It is not overlooked. Thank you for every single prayer they have ever prayed, even the ones that still feel unanswered, because none of it was wasted breath. You heard every one. Thank you for the faith it takes just to keep showing up, keep believing, keep asking, even when the answer has not yet come. That faith is precious to you. It is seen. It is counted as righteousness, the same way it was counted to Abraham so long ago. Thank you for the small mercies scattered through even the hardest weeks. A text from a friend at just the right moment, an unexpected moment of laughter, a sunset that stopped this person in their tracks, a stranger's kindness, a song that seemed to speak directly to what they were feeling. None of those were coincidences. They were your fingerprints, left quietly along the path, proof that you are near even when you feel far. Thank you for the parts of this person's story that they cannot yet see the purpose of, trusting that one day, whether in this life or the next, the pieces will make sense in a way they cannot fully imagine right now. Thank you that you do not waste pain, you redeem it. You have never once let a season of waiting go to waste in the life of someone who kept trusting you through it. As we come toward the close of this time together, Lord, I want to pray one more layer of peace over this person, a peace for whatever tomorrow holds. because none of us know exactly what is coming. We do not know if tomorrow will bring the breakthrough we have been waiting for, or another day of the same uncertainty, or something we never even saw coming. But we know who holds tomorrow. And that has to be enough, not because it always feels like enough, but because it always is enough, whether we can feel it in a given moment or not. Give this person wisdom for the decisions ahead of them. Give them discernment to recognize your voice among all the other voices vying for their attention. Give them patience for the process, courage for the uncertain parts, and peace for the parts they simply cannot control, no matter how hard they try. Give them the ability to hold their plans loosely, not because their dreams do not matter to you, but because your plans have always been better than anything we could design on our own. I pray that when this person looks back on this season one day, whenever the waiting finally gives way to what comes next, they will not remember it only as a hard time. I pray they will remember it as the season they learned to trust you in a way they never had before. The season their faith stopped being about what they could see and started being about who they knew you to be. The season they discovered that you are enough, not as a cliché, not as a phrase repeated so many times it lost its meaning, but as a lived, tested, proven truth in the middle of their own story. Lord, gather up everything this person brought into this prayer tonight, every fear, every question, every ache, every flicker of hope they were almost afraid to feel. Hold all of it, carry all of it. And give them, as they step back into the rest of their day or their night, a peace that goes with them, that does not stay behind in this quiet moment, but follows them into the kitchen, into the car, into the conversation they are dreading, into the email they have to send, into the waiting room, into the empty side of the bed, into whatever tomorrow holds. You are not finished with this person's story. You are not finished with mine either. The waiting is not the end. It is simply the part of the story that happens before the part we cannot wait to tell. And until that part comes, we will keep trusting you, not because it is easy, but because you have never once given us a reason not to. If you have anything left in your heart tonight, any last worry you have been holding back, any last hope you have been almost afraid to say out loud, let it go now. Lay it down. You do not have to pick it back up when this prayer ends. It belongs in God's hands now, not because the waiting is over, but because you were never meant to hold it alone in the first place. Lord, let this person feel, in whatever way you know how to reach them, that they have been truly heard tonight. Not just by these words, not just by whoever wrote them or whoever is speaking them, by you, the one who has been listening long before this prayer began and who will keep listening long after it ends. Let them know that their waiting has not gone unnoticed in heaven, not for a single day. I pray that the next time this person feels the weight of the weight pressing down on them, some small part of tonight would return to their memory, a phrase, a feeling, a sense of having been covered in peace even for a few minutes. Let that memory become an anchor they can return to, again and again, whenever the waiting feels too long and the silence feels too loud. And Lord, for the version of this person who eventually looks back on this season from the other side of it, whenever that day comes, let them see clearly what they cannot see now. Let them see how you were working even when it looked like nothing was happening. Let them see the people you placed in their path for a reason, the doors you closed to protect them, the delays that were actually preparation, the disappointments that were actually redirection towards something better than what they had originally asked for. Let their testimony one day become someone else's hope, the way so many testimonies throughout history have carried hope forward from one weary heart to the next. Until that day comes, Lord, hold this person close, hold me close. Keep our eyes fixed not on the calendar, not on the clock, not on how long this has taken, but on you, the one who has never once been late, the one who has never once forgotten a promise, the one who is, even now, working on our behalf in ways we cannot yet see and may not understand for a long time still. Thank you, Lord, for being patient with our impatience. Thank you for meeting us in the waiting instead of only in the arriving. Thank you for being the same God in the silence that you are in the answer, the same God in the delay that you are in the breakthrough, the same God at midnight that you are at dawn. I release this person now into your care, trusting that you will hold what they cannot hold, finish what they cannot finish, and carry what they cannot carry, until the day the waiting finally gives way to everything you have been preparing all along. Let them walk away from this moment knowing deep in their bones that they are not alone, that they never were, that you have been with them through every single day of this waiting, closer than their next breath, more faithful than their fear has ever given you credit for. You are with me. I am not alone. I can keep going. There is still hope, and whatever tomorrow holds, I know who holds tomorrow. In the quiet of this moment, and in every moment still to come, may your peace be near. May your presence be felt. May your promises be trusted. And may this person rise from this prayer not with all their questions answered, but with enough peace to keep walking faithfully until the day they are. Amen.